We just had our second friends and family natural building gathering on our off-grid farm. And it was so much fun, and we had so much art and beauty flow through our hands as we were working with the clay and the sand. This is an alpaca barn for our juvenile alpacas, but this project actually began back in June. The project began with Dave putting the poles in the ground and building the roof. Dave is a really good builder and a really good carpenter. He's been developing these skills for most of his life. He built the structure that we live in with his own two hands, and he also built our large barn for our female alpacas, which you see there.
Hello. I am heading out with Dave right now to harvest some sand from a nearby stream bed. I have got a dump trailer back there that Dave went and rented from a place in Flagstaff, and Dave's ahead on the tractor, and we are harvesting the sand from state land. And it's important though to mention that there was a ton of sand washed in all around here with the floods that we had over the last year. So there does seem to be an abundance of sand in the area, and so we're really grateful for that. And we already harvested the clay that we need for building from our pond. Stay tuned.
After building the roof structure for our barn, it was time to harvest sand. So here we are harvesting sand from a seasonal stream bed just 5 minutes away from our property. Now, what I don't show in this video is that we actually got a flat tire on our tractor, and the situation became pretty intense pretty quickly because the dump trailer that we rented was only a 24-hour rental, and we had just picked it up in Flagstaff, and Flagstaff is 90 minutes one way. So we had to leave our tractor next to this stream bed, and Dave hauled ass back to Flagstaff to buy us the new tractor tire and hauled ass back. But by the time he got back, it was after dark, so he woke up at sunrise to finish harvesting the sand that we needed for our project. So here's the thing, when you live in the city, you have no idea of all of the conveniences that surround you. And when you move off grid, you become rapidly aware of how much harder things are when you can't just drive 5 minutes down the road to a hardware store or whatever it is that you might need and then go back home to work on your project. Here, when we have to go back to get a supply or something, it basically wipes out an entire day. But Dave made it back, and he harvested the sand in the morning, and he returned that dump trailer within the 24-hour window, and we did not get charged for a second day. So we are growing on our off-grid journey, and we are getting stronger every time we overcome a challenge. We had already harvested all the clay from digging our pond, so we were ready for our natural building training to begin and for all of our friends and family to arrive. Chris Martinez, our friend and teacher from Los Angeles, was leading the weekend, and the first thing he had us do was make these little cob balls to find the right consistency of clay, sand, straw, and water with our own two hands. Then we moved on to digging the foundation. However, we had a little interruption eruption with an alpaca baby being born. This is baby Clayton, born the very first day of our building training, and we named him Clayton after the clay that we were working with. He's a really special baby and he's super handsome, and we look forward to him becoming a herd sire on our farm and making lots of babies. Now that baby Clayton had arrived safely on Earth and we had all of our materials gathered, our friends and family were ready to kick ass on our Earth build. As some began gathering and mixing materials, others began working on the foundation, laying stones, large stones as well as smaller stones. And we did actually do two different types of foundations. We did a stone foundation as well as earth bag, just testing out what we liked the best on our learning journey.
Live, what are you doing?
Stirring the pot.
Oh my God. It's getting real over here at Starflower Eco Farm.
We learned 3 different natural building modalities when we built this barn. We learned earth bag technology, which you can see Chris here filling up the very first earth bag in the foundation. We also learned cob. Cob is thought to be the purest form of natural building, but it does take the longest. And we learned light clay straw. I thought light clay straw was the fastest. All in all, we gained a wealth of knowledge and experience through our own hands and feet, and I will never forget it. As the week unfolded, we got better and better at mixing the clay, sand, and straw, learning more and more about our soil and the resources that we harvested. We also connected to some traditional practices by making cob balls and tossing them to each other, which added a tone of excitement to the experience. Here, Dave and Chris are adding additional framing to the area where we are going to use light clay straw. Light clay straw is the one modality that we learned that doesn't use any sand. It's just water, clay, and straw mixed up and then packed in between boards. And then the boards are removed and the straw mix stays. You slide the boards down and you start working on another section. How's it going, Nani? Is it the right consistency? Let's see your test balls. Tatum Elise, do you have a test ball? How do we test our balls? Nice! Lana made a double.
She made this, yeah. A sack.
Wow, one more time for the fans, Steven.
That one doesn't.
I don't know.
You need another ball?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go right over.
You need another ball?
How much do you love Cobb?
Are you doing it?
Enough to juggle my way to joy every day. Yeah. The progress that we made as community was unbelievable and so inspiring. We got way more done than we expected.
What? These straws, Mommy?
Overall, we spent about a week together building the barn back in June. It was once again an incredible experience that I'll never forget personally. Stay tuned for next week's vlog where I show you all of the progress we have made since then. We had another group come out just last weekend and we did plastering and all kinds of art on the barn, and it's so magical. Please don't forget to subscribe and support our journey. Thank you. It was time for our second Friends and Family Natural Building Gathering. Here is Chris Martinez back again from Los Angeles to teach us natural building and help us build the barn. Here is the pond where we harvested all of the clay. Dave dug this pond himself with the tractor. You can see one pile of clay on the other side of the pond, and then we have a massive pile of clay here to the left. And here comes Dave on the tractor to scoop up a large pile and bring it over to the build site. The barn we are building is for our juvenile alpacas. We are a fully operating alpaca ranch, so we breed and have babies twice a year in fall and spring. If you didn't catch last week's vlog episode, the second half of that episode is us starting this barn build. So you can go back to that episode and watch us start from the ground up. Otherwise, here we are starting where we left off. Chris came to town and we worked for nearly a full day together as we waited for the rest of our friends and family to arrive. This clay is so magical and it feels so good in my hand. I wish you guys could feel it. How long have you been building with earth?
I've been building with earth since probably 2011 was my first time.
Wow, that's like 12 years or something. That's a lot of experience. So what's your favorite modality to work with?
My favorite technique in natural building is cob because it's like so flexible. Like you could basically do whatever you want. All you have to do is imagine it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see any of this.
This is good. I don't know if you want to get this, Nicole. I'm going to start packing.
I am. I'm going to come over there. I'm just getting Fritz's feet.
I was thinking that
For
maybe
those feet.
I can shove some down in the back of it.
yeah, let's do it.
So this is light clay straw here. This is earth bags underneath here. So this has a first layer of plaster on it. And this wall is cob. So we have 3 different modalities on this little earthen barn. And right here, Dave is about to start on the light clay straw wall. So Dave and I are working on the light clay straw. This is earth bag right here. The light clay straw is going to go above it, up there. And we're just making another batch. So this is straw and clay that has been sifted and soaked in water, so that it kind of sticks together, but not like cob does with sand. And then we pack it in these boards. And then after it has a little bit of time to dry, the boards come off and the light clay straw stays there. Our intention for the community gathering was to do the earth and plaster, but before we could do the plaster, we have to finish the light clay straw wall and also that small section of cob in the back. When you're making earth and plaster, it's really important to have the finest materials to work with. So here is a video of Chris quickly building a sifter on site by using 2x4s and some screen mesh so that we can sift the sand and clay and make the nicest earth and plaster for our alpaca barn. And here I am sifting the sand that we harvested from the stream bed that will go into the plaster that we use. Our friends and family were slowly starting to arrive, and they were really excited to start working with the clay and building with cob. I would have to say that cob is everyone's favorite because you get to mix it with your feet. It feels so good to have it squish in between your toes. It's absolutely grounding.
Burrito it.
Let's burrito it. So grab some and make a couple balls.
See if it works.
Okay. So make a couple balls.
Oh yeah.
Feels about the same.
It does.
Okay, and then stand up and drop it on the tarp.
You just let it fall?
Yeah. So you're good.
We started settling into a good flow with some of the group working on the light clay straw and some of the group working on the cob wall. One of the most rewarding things about natural building is that anybody can learn it. All you need is the raw materials and a group of people that are excited about connecting to the earth and building with the earth. You teach them a few things, and then next thing you know, everybody is building and working together, and the project just really takes off. So here's Al and Marissa working on a giant 8-pointed star. That'll be our first art exhibition that we have on an earthen structure on our farm. So step away and let's look at it for a sec.
Okay.
So right now it's just a cob circle on a cob wall. But there will be 8 beams of light coming out from the center. And then we have all these beautiful pigments to work with. Natural pigments for natural building.
Coming over with a stick.
Or no?
Huh?
So everyone in the group definitely gained new skills. Here's one of our community members learning how to mix earth and plaster for the first time.
Well, we're like the goal is to try to get
Get this top stuff?
Yeah, get the straw integrated with the other stuff. And you can add some water if there's some behind it if you guys need.
And I absolutely love this clip of my daughter learning how to mix plaster as well. We spent about 3 days working together on the barn. We were able to complete the light clay straw wall and get the cob done, and we got all of the art up that we wanted to get up. We got a fair amount of the plastering done as well. In the evenings, we feasted together by cooking over an open fire, and we also enjoyed our community space that I call the Shade Shala. This is it. It's actually just a large commercial greenhouse that we're using for community. We've got a couple of large propane stoves set up and some lounging areas, and you can also see those large tapestries I made from alpaca and wool in the background. It's a great space for just hanging out and getting some rest throughout our time working together. Hopefully you have watched our previous 2 episodes and seen the first 2 parts of us building this earthen barn. This is the 3rd and final part of that earth build. Here we are in community gathering to build an alpaca barn for our juvenile alpacas. This last section is mostly covering the art.
Came in on the window ledge over here, bro.
Throughout this experience, we were blessed by having old friends and new friends join us on our farm to create this beautiful barn. Here you see Ricky from the Los Angeles permaculture community working on the art. He's drawing out some waves representing the sacred element water. As Ricky is working on the art, you can see that he continues to look at his phone to reference the design that we sent him. Before this project began, I spent some time researching ancient civilizations and ancient art, and I drew out this design that I wanted to go up on our cob barn. The little symbol on the far right is a seedling. It represents fertility, life on earth, and abundance. Then the sun in the center is an 8-pointed sun representing our sun and the 8 seasonal shifts we experience on Earth. And on the far left, we have a center column with 2 nautilus shells. To me, this represents the full moon and the waxing and waning moon phases. And the nautilus shells also represent the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. These symbols all come from the ancient civilization Crete from about 1800 BC. Crete is thought to have been an ancient matri culture where the people perceived no separation between art, nature, and spirit. And that's just a concept that I absolutely love and feel passionate about. And we brought it to life with our own 2 hands by connecting to the earth, the clay and the sand and the water from the land that we live on and through community. It is literally one of the best experiences I've ever had, and the art turned out way better than I would have ever imagined. A big special thank you to our friends and family that made this magic and beauty manifest. This is my younger daughter, Alana, and here we are talking about the design and working on the art together, perhaps just like the ancient original women were doing with their architectural designs. It definitely felt like we were reclaiming something ancient and sacred by working on this together. I do have an older daughter. Her name is Tatum. She is nearly 26 years old. She was with us at our previous natural building gathering, but she couldn't make it for this one. And Dave has a daughter as well. Her name is Hannah, and we are hoping to have all the girls present at one of our future natural building gatherings. I have got to say that in my heart, I definitely feel like natural building is incredibly empowering, and that by learning it as a parent and also having my children learn it, that perhaps there is impact being created for generations and generations to come. And that impact is not isolated to, just us and our children. Clearly, that impact is felt by all of the community members that were here and got to reclaim this skill of natural building through their own two hands. I like what my friend and teacher, Chris Martinez from California, says. He calls it tending to the social soil. And that's exactly what this was. Building in community, it bonds us in community, but it also grows our empowerment exponentially. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you like our content, it's really important that you actually subscribe to our channel. That will help us greatly be successful on this platform. We are releasing new episodes every single Saturday. The content that we share with you is 100% authentic and real from our off-grid reality. We are a large alpaca farm. We practice permaculture design and natural building. We hand process all the alpaca fiber ourselves. Nobody is doing it like us. In next week's episode, I will be updating you on Tara's healing journey, but Dave will also be talking to you about what it was like for him to have a newborn alpaca be born oxygen deprived and what it was like to have to save her life by getting her emergency veterinary care. I will also be sharing with you about my healing journey because I recently got really sick and have been having a tough go of it myself. And hopefully our indoor hot tub is up and working because we can all use some healing waters about now. Thank you so much for all your support. Massive love and blessings.